What I need y'all to do right now is I need y'all to like this video. Comment if you want. Subscribe, join the tribe. But also turn your post notifications on so you know the next time I drop something.
A woman who doesn't understand what her role is not fit to be a wife. Your role is not to challenge your husband.
Right.
Your role is not to compete with your husband.
Right.
Your role is not to be an agitator or a nuisance to your husband because he's doing things you don't like. Your role as a wife is to be a homemaker and a spiritual provisioner. The better you are at your job, the better he is at his job. And his job is to provide, to be a leader, and to protect the trajectory of the relationship.
Okay, let me say this really quick, you guys.
That makes sense.
This is something I want to talk about really seriously. So I see a lot of people talk about this, right? And this is what I want to address. We are in a different time now. Back in the day, women could not work at all. So they had to marry a man so they can survive.
They had it right.
Yeah, I think they had it right. They should have kept it like this. Yeah. But anyways, they had to marry a man or whatever the case is just to survive at that point. And so they had traditional roles, which was, I'm not at work all day, so I'm at home, I'm cooking, I'm cleaning, I'm taking care of the children, I'm making sure your lunch is packed, I'm making sure you're good, and I'm here to serve you.
Yes, we understand that you are free now and you can do whatever it is that you want and live how you want and all that other stuff. Yes, but we don't care. You know what I mean? We want what we want. We don't want this modern woman. We want traditional women. Why? Because that dynamic is the dynamic that works the best. It's not even that we just want it just because we want it. No, it literally works the best because instead of you outside of your role trying to play my role as a man, you can stay in the role that you're supposed to be in, that you're fit for. And we both prosper because of that. But in the AA community, our women have been taught to hate that role through feminism. And it's not even based off of like a logical thought because that role allows them the freedom to not work. You know what I mean? But they're championing the ability to work as if it's something that they want to do when they really don't, which makes no sense. But you know, it is what it is. The role that you're supposed to play is actually what you want to do, but you have been brainwashed into thinking and hating that. Hating was not what was not beneficial to you, or hating what is beneficial to you, should I say.
It's something I learned when I was younger, right? It's called the art of learning how to play a broad away from you. Because you cut a woman off these days, they don't like rejection. So when you cut a woman off, she liable to go lying, slandering your name, going to the police. So you got to learn how to play a broad away from you, which means you got to make her think it was her idea to break up with you. You got to be texting her like, hey, you still good? I hope we still... You got to make sure she's cool.
What he's talking about is the insurance of trying to avoid the reputation destruction, because that's what they do. But I agree with him. I ain't gonna lie, I agree.
Nurturing his leadership. I love this conversation. Now, if you are a woman who feels as though you don't have to do anything for a man, or that you're perfect or you're always right, you shouldn't be listening to me in the first place. This is for people who like to have a harmonious relationship, okay? Now, nurturing does not mean to baby or enable a man, and I need you all to stop compartmentalizing that word with babying someone. That's not what that means. Now, nurturing his leadership means to stand by his purpose. Nurturing his leadership means to be receptive of his ideas and his needs and his desires. If you want that man to be great, if you want that man to operate in his greatness, then he's gonna need you, darling. And that means that you need to study and really get to know your man in and out, because if you don't study him and know him in and out, you're not going to be attentive to his needs. You're not going to see where there are some areas that need work. You're not going to see the areas where he needs help when he's too man to ask you for the help, because you know there's a lot of men who will not ask for help. Acknowledge the things that he is doing for you, for your relationship, for your children, for your family. Acknowledge that, like, show him appreciation, stand by him in his purpose. Meaning, if you see that he is trying to get to that dream and he is working and he is doing, baby, take some of the weight off of him. Now, I don't mean that you have to take in all responsibilities, but we all do have roles. There is relationship dynamics, okay? You see this man is working all day and night, and he comes home and he's still working, or you see that he is like always on the go trying to take care of stuff, baby. Do certain things around him that make him feel seen, make him feel appreciated, that can just make him say, and relax. Be that man's peace. Trust him. Trust his decisions. You have to have a teachable spirit in order for a relationship to work, and that means that you have to be receptive. Now, that doesn't mean that your voice is going to be silenced, but you cannot always be in control. And by trusting and nurturing his leadership, what you are communicating to him is that, baby, I believe that you have it, and I'm going to stand beside you. Even if you know in your right mind that it may not work, his idea may not, let it. Because your ideas may not always work. At least let him try. See, the problem is with society, and the thing that irks me the most is that society is threatening manhood. And that's why you have so many men who are always combative now and irritable and angry, because when they show their vulnerability, when they express themselves, they get downplayed. You got every other post telling a man what he's doing wrong, and every other post telling a man that he's not a man, and every other post downplaying men and saying men ain't this and men ain't that. And now you have these men who are like, hold on, wait a minute. I'm a good man, but society has overgeneralized men to all be bad, all be lazy. No. So now you have men who are fighting to show that they're a man. So in that fight with society, you don't be a part of that fight. You be on his team and uplift that man. When he's around people, man, when y'all around friends and family, baby, compliment him. Tell him how proud you are of him. Appreciate the small things that he does. Come and rub the back of his head. Give him a kiss. Tell that man, I love you. I'm proud of you. I see you. Baby, do y'all not know how much that lights up a man's spirit? Nurturing his leadership is saying that, baby, I got you. You see his gift. You see his growth. You see that he is trying. You see the attempts. Acknowledge those attempts. Help him really express his gift. Help him get to that goal. Help him get to that finish line, and keep supporting and uplifting him on that journey, because he's gonna have some lows, baby, and he needs you to help him get to those highs, baby. Give him that reassurance that he needs. Constantly see him. The same effort you want, apply that effort. Nurturing his leadership communicates to him that you love him. You see him, you hear him, you validate him, you appreciate him. And that's what I mean. Don't always combat him. Don't always nag and complain. Don't put so much focus on the things that he's not doing. Pay attention to the things that he's trying to do and the things that he is doing. And then, of course, the last, let that man be the man. You are not always right, okay? You do not have to be in control. And I know sometimes it's hard because you're afraid that this person's not going to do it right. It's okay. You'll work through that. It's definitely okay. You will get through that. But let that man lead, and to show him that you are comfortable with following his leadership. Now, of course, when it comes to men, of course, I'll talk to them soon. Because, of course, when it comes to women, and if you men are listening, women need you to stand in the forefront, okay? They need you to provide that safety and security. And if you're not doing so, how is she going to be able to nurture your leadership? Y'all got it. And we'll get to that part. Happy, healthy relationships, y'all. Bye, babies.
Leadership takes time to develop. And even if you make a mistake, that doesn't qualify her to now take over as the leader. Your woman is supposed to go with you through all of your events, all of your ups and downs, your wins and losses, you know. And she's not supposed to beat you down with your losses. She's supposed to just be there to uplift you, because it's not gonna, leadership is not perfect. You know what I mean? You have to grow and develop into a leader. The one thing that you do as a leader, though, which is a good leadership trait, is to be accountable. Say you do make a mistake or a bad call, be the first to say, I made a bad call. You know, maybe I'll take into consideration what you have to say more next time, because this time I made a bad call, which is cool. That doesn't give her the license to now take control and get in the driver's seat.
Alan?
Sarah?
I don't know about that seat, Alan. It's the tie. It's the tie.
I haven't seen you since you left our wedding.
I know. I really regret doing that. I just want to tell you that I'm sorry for everything.
Yeah, you are sorry.
I shouldn't have went back to my ex.
No, it
was
okay.
Exciting, wasn't it?
I forgave you a long time ago.
That's a real nigga.
Well, look, if it's okay with you,
Don't even fix your
maybe we can
motherfucking
start
lips.
over.
Hell no, that
I'm
game's
sorry,
over.
Sarah, but
You only had one life in that
if I'm
game.
learning anything, it's that you can't start the next chapter of your life if you keep rereading the last one.
Hey,
I know
babe.
him and Jessica is not together. Is that
We're
Jessica?
gonna be late for the reception.
You're so beautiful.
That's different, John. Thought it would have
I
been.
love you so much.
That would have been
I
her
love
best
you
friend.
too. I'm the luckiest girl in the world to have found my soulmate.
Sorry, I'm not with this lovey-dovey shit. It's cringe as fuck.
I know initially, like when you go through like a breakup or anything like that, heartbreak, whatever, you know what I'm saying? It take time for you to get over that, but the goal is to forgive that person without even getting an apology, because you can release that off of your spirit, off of your soul. After a certain period of time, you gotta forget that person yourself so that you can move on. And the reason why I say that is because if he hadn't already forgiven her and she would have came up, he wouldn't know how to act. Motherfucker might start crying or some shit because he hasn't gotten over it, which would give her entry back into his life to do the same shit again. So it's important for you to heal past stuff like that and work through that stuff so that when she do double back, you're composed.
Let me tell you something. One of the main reasons why some of you ladies don't have the person that you want is because you had a good man, and what happened was you were so stuck in your old ways and you were so steadfast on him not controlling you that you failed to even take heed to the advice and the good knowledge and wisdom that he was giving you. So therefore you weren't ready.
I think that's usually them old birds that be going through all of that. It's hard for you to get out of a masculine, domineering, position in your mind if all through your early years, that's how you've had to live. And now all of a sudden you gotta click on some femininity that never existed in your whole adult life where you've been surviving, and be able to get under and trust a man's leadership when you've been making all the decisions this whole time. You know what I'm saying? Once they hit a certain age, it's pretty much over and done for. It's a younger lady that's gonna be more open and receptive to getting on a man's program or allowing him to lead, because they haven't been traumatized through all the men that they've gone through. They haven't gone through that trauma of life that having a man would avoid. So it's easier for them to be able to be more willing to be on a program.
Check this video out.
Being a housewife is not a reward. Being a woman of leisure is a reward.
Well, that's the same
No,
thing.
they're not. No, they're not. If you're a woman of leisure, if you are a woman of leisure, you don't have responsibilities. Your responsibility is being a woman of leisure. If you are a housewife, you maintain and you manage the house. That's not a reward. It's a job. Whether it's only 20 hours a week, it's still a job.
If there's no
If you trying to reward me because I was there through the tough times, let me be a woman of leisure. Let me be a kept woman. That is a reward. Rewarding me with washing dishes is not a reward.
If your ass was single, do you keep the house up? You know what I'm saying? Like do you not wash your dishes? You know what I mean? Do you vacuum your floor? Do you make your bed? Yeah. Okay. So the same things you doing it as a single woman, you doing it in a relationship, but you don't have to work, and that's not a privilege. Okay. You see why they single, man?
Val had said to me one morning, he was like, and this is when it clicked to me, right? He was like, when you wake up in the morning, what's the first thing you think about? I said, well, open my eyes, thank God for another day. And then I'm like, all right, well, what do I got to do for the day? The kids have this, that, the third. I got to do this, that, and the third, work. Everything else in between, all my errands I have to run. Why? And he was like, so where do I fall in the list of things that you think of?
Mm-hmm. I said that to her.
And I was like,
New Year's Eve, 2020.
I was like, and that was like a gut punch to me, because I was like, wow, I'm really out here covering all these bases, but the one base that always holds me down. Mm-hmm. How dare me? And at that moment, I said, never again will I do that.
That's good.
So now it's a thing where when we wake up in the morning, or even before we go to bed at night, we'll have a little recap of the day. What do you have going on tomorrow? You wake up in the morning, babe, how you feeling? How's your spirit? What do you need help with today? What can I take off your plate to alleviate a little bit of stress or a little bit of confusion or something? And it could be something so simple. He's just like, yo, I'm gonna be on the road all day. Can you pack me lunch? Like something simple.
Yeah.
And then by me taking the time to be invested in what he needs in that moment, it frees up time in his schedule or even just the desire to want to reciprocate that.
And it fireproofs your marriage.
What I noticed in that one right there, she's expressing dominance over him by doing that. I know you think that it might be insignificant, but there's a lot that goes into body language. And if you study body language, it tells you a whole lot. I don't know if she knew she was doing it or not, but it is what it is. And so even the nature of the conversation is, as a man, you know, you wake up, you ask your wife, are you thinking about me? You know what I mean? And it's like, you know, like the relationship seems a little bit more inverse, because if you're a man that's committed to purpose and that's what you're working towards, then you don't have time to ponder those type of thoughts. You know what I mean? To be that introspective, you're just too focused on purpose. And then, you know, your wife is supposed to be that helpmate and she's supposed to fill those gaps. You know what I mean? And so it kind of seems as though she's the one that is controlling that relationship. And I think it's a good match, because she seems like a very, you know, domineering type. So she found her a very submissive man. Now, my whole thing is I'm not, you know, saying that she will or won't. You know what I mean? These are just my thoughts. But I honestly believe that she's going to ultimately lose attraction for this man. That's just you know what I mean? I'm not wishing nothing bad on their relationship. That's just my thought. But I think that she's ultimately going to lose attraction for this man, because there's obviously a lack of like reverence there, just based off of the body language, you know.
Hope everyone's having a good day. Just using some of this time to vent, since that's what I seem to need to do a lot here lately. And it's hard. It's so hard. When you feel like the world's against you, when you feel like you just can't talk to nobody. You know, some of us just use TikTok or whatever social media to vent. And I have become very well at trying to keep my business off Facebook, for one. But I'm sitting here visiting my dad at his grave before we leave. And I just have this emptiness feeling. I have this sad feeling. Like, life is too short. And you should be happy. And unfortunately, I want to say I married a monster. But I knew this man's problems and issues before I married him, and I meant my vows when I said for better or worse. And you know, he jumped out and moved on, but I had to take over a year, no relationship, no talking, just focusing on myself. Like, it is what it is. I haven't cared about a relationship, because I feel like nothing can replace what I had. Just because we had so many kids together, and he always pumped in my head, you'll never find somebody with that many kids, because he knew I'd raise them alone, and he knew I would do a damn good job, which I have. Y'all, I'm stressed to the max right now. After divorce, is there really a way you can connect with somebody else like that? Can you feel love like that again? I'm just curious.
Absolutely not. And he tried to warn you, to let you know, hey, I got you. You got way too many kids. Ain't nobody gonna want you but me, baby. I done got everything out of you. Everything a man might want, I done already used it all. You are used. He wasn't pumping it in your head. The reality of it is this. You have too many kids for me. Nobody's gonna want you. And her delusion is like, yes, they will, because it's me.
I feel, me personally, especially for our people, I feel like that comes from the man's upbringing. I gotta laugh. I gotta laugh when I say this, because you know the females get so mad, but we are in a fucking crisis, a pandemic with this single mother and shit. And it's crazy, because you could literally Google it, just like, so, and let me back up. In my spare time, I read a lot of boring shit. I like social science, and I like to read Harvard studies and just different studies where they do statistics and polls on us as a people, just all different types of backgrounds and people. And it is a proven fact. And if you don't know what a fact is, look it up. But it is a proven fact that single mother households produce the worst product.
Facts. That's
It's a
100% fact, yeah.
If you take 2-parent households single father household, single mother household. Statistically, based on facts.
Yep, you're right.
The household with the woman heading it by herself produces the worst product. And for our people, for black people, for African American people, those single mother households are the reason why prisons are filled with a good majority of our
You are 100%
people,
right.
So these are facts. You sit this on the table. Here go the facts. And then you say, so y'all need to start valuing men being involved in the lives of your children.
Mm-hmm.
I can't make you be with your baby daddy, or we can't say that somebody has to stay with somebody, because we know that children are being born out of situations where the two people aren't healthy together.
Yeah.
But that you having access to a man and a woman during your upbringing needs to be brought back.
This is why I like her. You know what I'm saying? Because she understands the root of the issue. And that's the one thing that the AA community tries its best to overlook. They're trying to celebrate this idea of being a single mother and champion it like it's something that's courageous, and it's not. It's the epitome of what is destroying the community. Give those children to the father, because at least the generation has a fighting chance to be able to know how to regulate itself in society to be successful. The reason why a lot of these dudes are going to jail or killing each other is because they emote like they mama. That's dangerous. There has to be a campaign to shame being a single mother so that the culture can shift. We have to purge this out of us, because if we don't, it's going to cause our destruction. We're seeing the ramifications of these generations that's operating like that.
The black people give you the money and tell everybody, huh? What you doing? Oh, nothing. Just get Carlos $40. Yeah. Doing pretty bad this week, man. I guess God will bless me for it. A nigga won't never know what you got until he pull you to the side and say, man, I'm having hard times right now, man. Nigga need about $500, man. That's how one of them old players get some money from me. They just stare at you for a minute before they say something. As soon as they catch your eye, I don't know something. You're like, oh, what this nigga want right here. Look, man, check this out, man. You know they took $3,500 from me over the other day over at Tony Earl and house, right? You're like, here this nigga go with one of them stories. Yeah, you can't take $1,000 from a nigga without putting a hit on you. I'm for real. You borrow money from a white person, don't never give it back. This is it. This is the last $30. You borrow some money from a black person, they're gonna threaten you before they give it to you. Let me tell you about my money, player. I works too hard for my shit. You know what I mean? And I started not to give it to you. You be like, you know what? Fuck you and that $20, all right? You about to fucking lecture me, nigga.
What I need y'all to do right now is I need y'all to like this video, comment if you want, subscribe, join the tribe, but also turn your post notifications on so you know the next time I drop something.